to Sky High Productions. I know it's been a long hiatus, but now it's playoffs times, it's summertime, so now I'm gonna start putting these out more frequently for you guys. But today I have a Eastern Conference Semifinals preview for y'all. I'm going to be breaking down the upcoming series between the Nets and the Bucks, and also the series between most likely the 76ers and the Atlanta Hawks. So let's start off with the series that most people have been anticipating for most of the playoffs, and the one that's already been pretty much decided, that's set in stone, the Nets versus the Bucks. With this series, most people, the common favorite between casuals and some even diehard NBA fans, is the Nets are the overwhelming favorite, mainly due to their star power having Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden, which I completely understand. If I was a betting man, I would honestly put my money down on the Nets, mainly because of their star power. However, the Bucks are not meant to be taken lightly. We've just seen a series with the Miami Heat where the Bucks for 4 games straight played probably the best basketball I've ever seen them play since Giannis' emergence as a superstar. And with the acquisition of Drew Holiday, I feel like this is the best opportunity the Bucks have to make a promising run to the finals. With Drew Holiday on the team, just him alone not being Eric Bledsoe is a plus. Eric Bledsoe, although he's a solid NBA player and he's a okay to pretty good defender, he is essentially almost a black hole on offense, and having that as your point guard or shooting guard is never a good position to be in. So now with Drew Holiday in that place instead of Eric Bledsoe, you get someone who is a legitimate ball handling threat on the ball and off the ball. He probably can guard your team's best player, whether that be a guard or a wing, and he can give you a solid 20 points a night. This is something that Eric Bledsoe just wasn't doing, and this player on the side of Giannis and Chris Middleton with a great supporting cast and a great coach is really dangerous for a team against the Nets. And we all know how dangerous the Nets are. They have probably the team with the best accumulated offensive firepower I've ever seen, with Kyrie, James Harden, and KD on the same team. The offense is basically endless. However, what really is going to come up in this playoff series against the Bucks is that defense. Because with Kyrie, KD, and Harden being your best players, of course they're going to give you as much effort on the defensive end as possible. However, since they have to carry so much on offense, I can see a possibility where they just not giving that much effort on the defensive end, and the surrounding pieces around them aren't really suited to be defensive specialists, maybe aside from Nicholas Claxton. However, I'd still say he's more of an offensive big, even though he can block a couple of shots for you. But he's not going to cover up all the holes on defense that you have as a team with 3 offensive superstars that are not known for that defense. Although KD can give you some blocks as well, he can try his best to lock him on defense. However, KD is not matching Giannis when it comes to physicality, and I'm not even sure if that's a matchup that they're going to go with, mainly for that fact. And it's also possible that Giannis could get KD in foul trouble. So I don't even think that they're going to go with that matchup. They're probably going to go with something that I saw a good amount during the regular season, where they had Blake Griffin and Nicholas Claxton. They just were throwing different defenders at Giannis. And that's something you're probably just going to have to do, considering that he's probably going to overpower all of the defenders that you have. And then with Giannis, you still have to deal with Chris Middleton. You still got to deal with Drew Holiday. And then you have players off the bench like Bobby Portis and Bryn Forbes, who coming in and giving quality minutes. We just had a series where Bryn Forbes averaged more and outscored Jimmy Butler. So it's possible that somebody else can step up, because we know that Dante DiVincenzo, who is their starting shooting guard, he's injured right now. He's injured for the rest of the playoffs. So they're probably going to be missing that. But his output is definitely matchable by someone else on the bench, and I feel like that's what's most likely going to happen. However, Kyrie, Harden, and KD are still Kyrie, Harden, and KD. So I'm not trying to make it sound like they have absolutely no chance to win the series or it's going to be a blowout. It's still going to be close, and I still find it hard to bet against them just because of those 3 specifically, mainly because of Kyrie and KD. They have the championship pedigree. They have the championship DNA. They have what it takes in these type of moments. We've seen in the past where Harden kind of folds, especially against teams with good defenses. So against Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton, it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts to that. But as of right now, my prediction for this series, in my personal opinion, I have Bucks in 6. However, I feel as though if the series does go to Game 7, I'm picking the Nets to win Game 7 because I do not see a world where KD and Kyrie and Harden allows himself to get beat in the second round after everything they went through this season. Now transitioning to the next series, a part of the top of the bracket is most likely going to be the 76ers versus the Atlanta Hawks. Now for this series, even though both series are 3-1 previous to this, I have the 76ers beating the Wizards. I do not believe that they're going to blow a 3-0 lead, even with Joel Embiid out for Game 5, maybe for even other games in the series, but I'm going to get into that later. And I also believe that the Hawks are going to close out the series, maybe not in Game 5, but probably in Game 6. Because with the way that the Knicks are playing right now, I do not see a way that they can overcome this, mainly because their offense really relies on Julius Randle, and Julius Randle's offense is mainly taking tough shots, and the tough shots just aren't falling right now, and they're probably not going to fall for you during the playoffs, especially against a team with a solid defense. So I have the Hawks wrapping the series up in 5, maybe 6. But when these two teams do meet, it's going to be very interesting the health of Julius Randle and how it plays into it, because I believe that the Hawks would win this series if Julius Randle misses the whole series. However, it's questionable if he misses the whole series because he's currently listed as day-to-day with a slight meniscus tear. But even if he is listed as day-to-day and the series comes and he misses, let's say, 2 games maximum, when the series comes, because we know Joel Embiid is going to take a minute for an injury like that to heal, even though it's only a slight tear, it's still going to take some time. So let's say he misses 2 games. I still believe that the Hawks could win those 2 games, and that could be the catalyst for them winning the series. Because without Joel Embiid there, the Sixers don't really have that much to protect the paint. And then with Trae Young coming in doing floaters, you got him with pick and rolls with John Collins and Clint Capella. That paint's probably going to be wide open because Dwight Howard's not going to provide that much resistance against that good of an offense. So what it's really going to come down to, if Joel Embiid misses that much time, it's going to come down to Ben Simmons being aggressive, Tobias Harris being aggressive, and I could maybe rely on Tobias Harris being aggressive, maybe giving you about 25 points in those games. Hopefully gives you more just because it's the option of Joel Embiid and he gives you so much. But with Ben Simmons, you're really going to be hoping he is going to put his head down, try to get to the rim, and at least hit some of his free throws. Because we saw with the one game that they lost so far to the Wizards, they mainly lost that game because Ben Simmons and his inability to hit free throws. So if he could just stay aggressive, keep his head in the game, don't pay too much mind to the crowd, and just stay focused and stay aggressive, then maybe they could come out with those games. But that's a big if. We know that Ben Simmons is not the most reliable person on the offensive end. Yeah, he's going to play make and give you some great passes and make sure other people score. But to win the game, you're going to need your second best player to put up at least a good amount of points. And that's not the most reliable thing Ben Simmons could give you. So if the 76ers role players' shots aren't hitting, Tobias Harris is doing his best he can, but he's not going to carry a team in the playoff game. And Ben Simmons is so. The Hawks are going to win this series if Embiid is out. However, everything changes if Embiid plays the whole series. If Embiid plays the whole series and he's himself, he's Embiid, I have the 76ers winning this series in 5, just because Embiid is too dominant. And I know Capella is a great defender, and the Hawks have been playing great defense in the playoffs so far against Julius Randle and the Knicks. But it's Joel Embiid. He's the potential MVP of the league this season, and there's not really much you can do to slow him down. And that's so much to the point to where I don't think they could stop that. And then that's going to open up the game for Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons and every other player on the team. So when Embiid plays this whole series, I honestly have the Sixers in 5. But if he's out for 2 games, Hawks probably going to win in 6, to be honest. But that's just my preview, that's just my opinion and my predictions on these upcoming series in the conference semifinals. So let me know who you got winning. Let me know your thoughts. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that. And yeah, that's it, guys. Peace out.
What is there to say? You be on my mind. You stay on my mind. You are so astonishing, girl.